asked if I could join again today, and he said, "Perfect. I can't facilitate that meeting." So I said, "Perfect. I'll go. I love those people." So I'm here today. My name is Molly, and I facilitate the caregiver support group for SAO, caregiver and family support group. And Ralph, back in maybe summer of last year, asked me uh, to host a radio show for his radio station, Stroke Warrior Radio. And I thought, the Molly show? No, thank you. That's not for me. And then about a month later, I realized that for 16 years, I helped people craft their story on life lessons and deliver it to 400 people each week. So I worked with
Molly, you got a perfect radio voice.
Oh, careful. When someone said that to Ralph, something happened. Arnie.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Arnie. And so that's what I've been doing with stroke survivors. And stroke survivors have been contacting me from all over the country. As you know, there are almost 7 million stroke survivors in the US. So we have a lot of people in our lives who've gone through stroke and are going through recovery, and every single one of them is different. So I feel honored when people share their stories, and I help them for about 4 to 6 weeks craft it through the lens of wisdom, which we all have our own wisdom. We've all been through something very powerful, a shift in perspective. So, wisdom, purpose. We all have purpose. And connection, right? We're very connected with each other. We're connected with our families. We're connected with our communities. We're connected with our therapists and doctors. And hope. So, the ultimate purpose of sharing our story is to offer hope. And so today I have a reflection session for all of us because each of you have wisdom and purpose and connection and hope. So I'm going to start off with a little meditation so that we can ground ourselves, connect inside, connect outside. And then our guiding question today is, what wisdom has emerged through your own recovery? What have you learned? How has your perspective shifted? Okay. And so we are recording this session as we do each time. And I would like to take what you say from this session and create an episode for the podcast slash radio show. If you want to share your perspective, but don't want it played on the podcast or radio show, just send me a little note and I'll edit you out. That way you can contribute to our community here today. And if you don't want it out to the world, that's fine. Okay. All right. Any questions before we start? No? I'm so excited to hear from you. I see all your faces, but I can't hear you yet. Okay, let's ground ourselves. Maybe closing your eyes. Maybe dropping your shoulders down and back. Elongating your breath on the inhale and the exhale. maybe feeling where your bum meets the seat, and envisioning your head reaching up towards the sky, feeling the air meet your skin, imagining yourself as a beam of light. Today we call to mind an image of a mountain. And I chose a mountain today because when we're looking at a mountain, we think, wow, that's beautiful, and I'm ready to climb. So today, I want us to think about our recovery journeys as a mountain that we're climbing. Some days are days that feel arduous, so tough. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes we look around and we can't see anyone else around us. Other days, we've reached a meadow and we're actually walking through a valley. And we see all the others who are with us. We notice the color of the flowers. We notice the stream. And we look back at those days behind us, those days that may have felt arduous and long and everlasting. And then we reach those moments that we can look back and say, in order to regather our energy so that we can move forward and continue the climb. Today, we're going to take a day to look back on how far we've come and what we've noticed along the way. Today, we are going to look from today's perspective. Because we made it to today and we're here to share. So with an inhale, open your eyes and exhale it all out. Hello and welcome to those of you who joined during our meditation today. My name's Molly and we have a group meditation today. A group meditation, and it's a way to, one, share our wisdom with each other, but two, this is also recorded and we're hoping to put it out on a podcast called Beyond Stillness Stories After Stroke. And that is for other stroke survivors to offer hope. So our reflection question today is, what have you learned throughout your recovery process? What wisdom has emerged for you? And our audience are other stroke survivors. And we're hoping them to offer wisdom and hope. So when we share, please share for a couple minutes so that everyone has a chance to share today. Okay? And I offer it to you.
Molly, during my recovery, I was really getting frustrated because I felt like I wasn't making progress as as much as I thought I was, and I was just getting really depressed and disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
And then one day, both my daughters, they're in their 30s. They made a comment to me that just it completely changed my outlook on my recovery, but also changed my outlook on life.
Hmm.
They said, "Dad, don't look at where you are compared to yesterday. Look at where you came. Look at where you were compared to last year." And when they said that, I started reflecting on that. I'm like, "Holy crap! I have come a long way."
Yeah.
And
Thank you,
I'm sorry for the use of the word.
Arnie.
Oh,
Thank you, Arnie.
The other thing that I noticed is, and I thought about this when I was in the hospital. Uh, I was a big procrastinator. I always said, "Oh, I'll do that tomorrow." Well, I don't do that anymore because tomorrow may never be here. I quickly realized, at a snap of a finger, we all could not be here, and I no longer procrastinate because there may be a chance where I'm not going to be here tomorrow, and so I don't procrastinate anymore.
Thank you, Arnie. Those are two good ones. Marcia?
Yes. So I realized that coming back from a stroke, you come back in waves, if you will. So when I was first having my stroke, I had my mental capacity, but I didn't have any physical capability. So I think my first comeback was when my mental capacity and my physical capacity kind of melded.
Yeah.
But then that's just the end of the first wave. Then you've got the next wave, right? And the next wave and the next wave. And you realize that you have as many waves as you want. You just have to get up and ride.
Will you say that again for us? You have as many
So
waves.
there are as many waves as you want. You just have to get up and ride.
Thank you, Marcia.
cool. Molly,
Yes,
Molly. Hi, can I share?
please do, Deborah.
Okay. All right. So a couple of things that come to mind, at least that were true or have been true for me is, first of all, being patient with myself. That was really hard. And I still have to talk to myself about it because I wanted everything I wanted to get better right away. And it has never gone as fast as I hoped. It's going, but it's never. So, for others, just be patient with yourself. I was so hard on myself. And so what I would hope for other people is that they're patient with themselves and they don't beat themselves up. And then allowing myself time to grieve. I think I went through all the stages of grief and kind of spent a lot of time on anger and and like disbelief, not like I didn't want to accept what had happened. A lot of time in anger, and I think it's just really in the past year that my stroke is 5 years ago, so that I'm coming out of that. Another thing is give yourself permission to seek help from others. My self-esteem plummeted, my self-worth plummeted. And so I reached out and found a therapist. And she has just been instrumental in guiding me through this process and my continued recovery. And I guess the final thing that helped me is trying to do things for other people. Whatever little thing you can do, and it might not be much at first, but if you're able to do anything at all, try and say something kind to somebody else, or like I knit things and I donate them, or whatever you can do to get out of yourself and offer yourself to other people. That's
Thank you, Deborah. Yeah. Dave?
Yeah, I had my stroke May 11th of 2020 and spent 44 days in the hospital. And that was also during COVID, and I never got to see my wife for 30 days, which was tough for me. And since getting out of the hospital, I've read 105 books. So I've gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge just, being fortunate and blessed to have the time to actually read. I've read more books in the last 4 years than I ever did in high school and college. And so I would say when it comes to stroke, motivation or inspiration, find your education in books, videos, whatever you, I mean, I'm sedentary because I've got left side paralysis, and I would rather spend my time seeking information or education from books and videos than watching just your basic TV programs. The other thing that one of the videos I watched was with Jesse Itzler. If you ever get the chance, I would seek out his videos. One of the things that really stuck with me that he said is the average male lives to be 80 years old. That's the life expectancy. So when you think about how many summers you have left between your age now and 80 years old, you don't waste that. You don't want to waste those summers. Gotta find a way to motivate yourself and move on. But I've been through everything that Deborah's talked about, the depression, the anxiety, the frustration. You just got to dig deep and find your why you're here, your purpose is. Since having my stroke, my wife and I have taken on running the stroke support group in Salem. That's been a real joy for both of us because we get to help people. It's been great.
Finding purpose. Thank you, Dave.
That was a good one.
Beverly.
For me, it was, I always thought of the recovery process like going up a stairwell and you take one step forward and you keep going. But it's more like a spiral. You take 2 steps forward and then you spiral back down 10 and then you come back, but you're making progress. And so even though it doesn't seem like it, eventually you're on step 8 and you don't spiral down to the bottom anymore. You only spiral down 2 steps and, so you make progress. And I had my first stroke in 1999 and my second stroke in 2000. And so it's been a long time for me to be a stroke survivor, but I came back and just wanted to share, you never give up. Just after last session that we were at, I went to Nashville, Tennessee, drove myself to Nashville and gave an academic paper that I wrote. So, amen. Never give up.
That you wrote. Wow, Beverly. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beverly, I like your analogy with the stairs and all, and it just made me think on my journey, boldness has become a bonus for me. During the healing and rehab, I found myself a lot of times on the sideline just kind of peeking at things and debating in my head, should I? Can I? And after a few of those questions, I started backing away and I've learned to, if I'm curious enough to just keep looking forward and not do the wavering and the wandering, but to just step out. And as a result of that, I'm now learning pickleball.
Nice.
For you, Bridget.
And I may actually need to start a 12-step recovery program because I think I'm addicted.
Thanks, Bridget. Bold. I like it.
Yeah.
Bold.
Bold is a bonus.
Mm.
Pickleball Anonymous group, right, Bridget?
Absolutely. A friend just gave me a shirt over the weekend that said pickleball is my retirement plan. We'll see how that works out paying the bills.
What wisdom has emerged through your recovery?
Hey, Molly, I just want to add one thing. I forgot who said what, but one of the best things that I ever did was I got help. So I thought I was mentally strong, a mentally strong individual, but I needed help. And that was the best thing I ever did. I found a neuropsychologist, and that was the best thing I ever did.
Agreed. Thank you, Arnie. Yeah. Jessica.
Oh, I wasn't even muted. Hi, I've been doing Zooming a lot lately, so I'm kind of zoomed out. And I came late to the party, but good to meet all of these fellow strokers. I have been online becoming a new person, a new version of myself post stroke. I am participating in my second half of a program called Love Your Brain Yoga. And I just shared this with Lane that I'm working on that certification and I want to bring classes that you could just access at your own time for free onto SAO. So as I process through that, then that's my goal for contribution. And yeah, what was the question? Like what's like what is it, what's our superpower or what? I missed it.
No, I love it. It's what wisdom has emerged through your recovery. So we're taking this group recording as a way to inspire other stroke survivors. This is part of a radio show on Stroke Warrior Radio and also a podcast, which is Beyond Stillness Stories After Stroke. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
So
I I won't apologize for my stroke talk because that's how it is. Um, but yes, I've learned a lot of things and acceptance,
Thank you.
such an important one. Um, of myself where I am every day. And like yoga has taught me that. I also in therapy and everything. And I was not, I was an anti-yogi before I stroked. Like I was hardcore sports, let's do everything extreme, energy, what do you call that? Adrenaline. And then after stroke, everything gives you adrenaline and not a good way. So you have to learn how to quiet yourself down. And I feel very lucky that the universe just kind of led me to yoga. I was a swimmer and I went to the Juniper Swim and Fitness Center here in Bend to get back into the pool with a fellow stroke warrior. And she and I knew each other from swimming and other things. And so she helped me get back in the pool. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll take this recovery yoga. What's that like? I mean, I'm in recovery. And it was it was not something that I could have done when I was focused on getting adrenaline. But when I was focused on needing to get away from things that were overstimulating, it was the best thing for me. And at that point, I wasn't able to I didn't have sensation on my full half of my right side, and not everything was working. And, I had to still talk to my leg and my arm to make them do what I wanted them to do. And yoga, that stillness and that just being present in your body and walking through meditations. And if you've never heard of yoga nidra, I highly recommend it. It's like yoga for the sleep. You can just Google these and listen to these meditations and that stuff online. But it's been really helpful. And I am so excited to be in my second part of certification for the Love Your Brain yoga training, because everyone, it is a safe community like this community. And you're with people that understand what it's like, oh, here's how I was before, and now here I am now. But this is how I was when I first had a stroke, and this is a year afterwards. Like, I think it's kind of fun with these cell phones these days where they pop up these memories and you see pictures. Like, I just saw a picture of me 2 years ago, and I was fairly freshly stroked. And I was just like, I wasn't driving legally at that time. And I was like, took a picture of myself at the river because I was so happy that I'd gotten there. But like, I see that now and I can reflect on where I was and be so happy for where I am now, even though it's nowhere near where I was before. And my process at this time, this is 3 years. I'm working on understanding to be happy with where I am moving towards and not make it a race.
Yeah.
Deborah, I came on right when you were talking and you just lit up my heart. You just really made me feel heard and understood. And yeah, I'm really glad to be here.
Thank you, Jessica. Looking forward to what I'm moving towards.
Yeah.
Love that.
Can I just follow up on what Jessica said? So looking towards, I think for me, it was really important, and I'm still working on it, but to not dwell on what I used to be able to do and to think of my life now as a new beginning. And what can I do now in this phase of my life? And kind of challenge myself that way.
Absolutely.
Great.
Well said, Deborah.
Deborah. Elizabeth.
So much to say, but I'll try and keep it short. First, thank you everyone for sharing. So great just to sit back and listen to everybody. Jessica, it's like looking in a mirror. Can't find you, but are you there? Oh, there you are. I mean, my life seems so similar, but so much of what you said I resonated with. And Marcia and Deborah, both of you guys, everything you said was so just really affected me. So quickly, I live my life according to what I call my 4 Ps. Not sure if I've said them, but they are patience, positivity, persistence, and perception or perspective. And I feel like this group probably understands what they all mean. But before my stroke, I probably didn't have any of those in my life. Okay. Oh, and also just quickly, we are all unique, so we should never compare ourselves, even to our old selves, but to other people as well. That's it.
Yes, the 4 Ps and comparison.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. What have we learned throughout our recovery journey? Gunnar, was that a hand?
That's a hand.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm coming up on my 8th stroke anniversary on April Fool's Day. No kidding. Okay. It was a bad joke when that happened, I'll tell you.
Oh,
The
God.
brainstem stroke should have killed me, took out my entire left side. The second stroke at the same time took out the vision of my right eye. And once I started recovering, I found out that I would have every week or so, I would have a really bad day. And it would bother me terribly because I'd regress. I'd say, geez, I'm getting worse. I'm not getting better. But I found out that that was just my brain rewiring, doing a whole reconnecting process for what's left, because there's not much left up there that's functioning. So as it rewired, it's almost like rebooting a computer. And I had to step back for a day. And then I found out to celebrate those days, my days that were that bad, because I knew that the following day I would be even better than I was before. And I honestly keep improving. And the thing that's happened to me recently that's been awesome is the fact that I started this EECP that's just blown me away, because I didn't know I could make such great gains in such a short amount of time. I thought I had plateaued pretty much. And boy, was I wrong. I mean, I'm also a type 2 diabetic, and I have peripheral neuropathy in my feet, and that has decreased by about 50%. My insulin usage has decreased by 50%. I'm more aware, more awake. I'm less dizzy. The one thing I always hoped would happen was to be less dizzy. And I am less dizzy since I started this external enhanced compression, whatever it is, ECP. Okay. It really has worked for me, and maybe more dramatically for me because I have such a small amount of brain left that it's actually increased what I've got by increasing capillary blood flow and stuff like that. And I'm going to have the nurse practitioner get on sometime when we get this coordinated. But
We're
it's
going to
just
do that, Gunnar.
it's been 3 weeks, and I can't believe how much I've improved. I don't ever give up. Just keep pushing. If you stop pushing yourself, you'll go back. Okay? You got to keep pushing forward. That's what I said. Just keep pushing.
Just keep pushing. Except for the 8th day. Push
Yeah.
harder in the 9th. Thank you, Gunnar.
Thank you.
Gunnar, what was that acronym again, please?
EECP.
Thank you.
It's a external enhanced counter pulsation. Basically, they attach you to like an EKG type machine that forces blood from your lower extremities back up into your system between heartbeats, not with the heartbeat, but between them. So it forces blood back up into your organs, into your
Hey,
heart.
Gunnar, how did you find it? I mean, where do you go? Did you talk to your neurologist or?
You know, he didn't know anything about it. I've looked for this thing. There's a gentleman that had EECP for heart patients, and I had friends who were heart patients using this stuff. Okay, don't stop trying to find something that's going to help you. Really important. Don't stop trying to try a supplement. Try this, try that, try everything. Everybody's different. Every stroke is different, and everybody's going to have a different reaction. But I've narrowed it down. I can't tell you how many bottles of things I've thrown away and stuff, trying stuff. Okay. But we all do, you know, but I look at the whole holistic thing, and I found something, a bunch of things that work for me. You know, certain supplements that are available online. I use Nerve Renew, Nerve Repair Optimizer, which is our alpha lipoic acid, basically, and the other is a bunch of B vitamins and stuff, and some other things. And I also take folic acid, B9, which that's something my neurologist said to take. Okay, because that decreases brain shrinkage. It preserves your brain from shrinking more. Okay.
What is that, Gunnar?
Folic acid, which is B9. Okay. Folic acid. So he has me taking 1800 because the standard dosage is like 800 or 900 or something like that. So he says, take one in the morning, one at night, you know, even it out. And that preserves your brain. And what's amazed him, my neurologist says I'm his most improved patient in his entire career. And he says the most important thing is I'm not losing brain, because they've done deep MRIs on my brain a couple of times. And I have very little brain left. I got 28% of my hippocampus. I've got 11% of my gray matter, and I've only got 1% of the white matter left in my brain. It controls body functions, heart, breathing, all that stuff. Okay. Yes, I'm on a CPAP machine too, but I need all that stuff just to keep going. But it's looking at the whole thing, not just one little part of it, you know, looking at the whole body, the whole system. And I knew that the CECP was out there. I just didn't know there was anything on this island. And it's been there for 13 years. I just discovered it when someone who is in our driving club mentioned that her daughter had this operation thing, the EECPs. My ears perked up when she said EECP here in Kona. Oh my God. And I went down there and the insurance covers it. And it's just, there's 35 visits, 35 1-hour visits on these treatments. And I've only had 9 treatments so far, and it's outstanding.
So that's the standard.
What's that?
Is that the standard number of sessions for someone interested?
Yeah, the standard, yeah. It's like 35 sessions, an hour long. And typically you do it in 7 weeks and do it 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Okay. I don't have time to travel. It's an hour away, and I've got to travel an hour there and an hour back and stuff, because this is a big island I live on. It's not close distances. So, and I'm still working 8 days a week at my art gallery, doing the paperwork and everything else, sometimes doing deliveries, hanging stuff again. I mean, I'm doing stuff I never thought would be possible for me to do again. Absolutely impossible. And since this EECP started, I have to tell you that my walking has become very close to normal, where I had this funny gait from losing my left side and all this tone. Well, the tone is reducing so that I'm able to move my left side faster. Okay, there's less resistance to movement. And also the mechanics of my walking is better than it's ever been in 8 years. I can't believe I'm thrilled that I'm still improving. The point is just keep trying stuff, see what works for you. And the more effort you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. You'll improve. You know, just push yourself.
Gunnar, I love it. You encourage us with experiences that we can all look into too. And you're right. It's important to seek out a lot of different types, because at different points in our recovery, different things will work for us. And every stroke is different. Every body is different. Every year is different.
One of the best things that happened to me was COVID, because I didn't get it, but they shut down the rehab facility at the hospital that I was working out. And after a month, I said, I need to work out. And so I joined a local health club that was still open. Yeah, you had to wear a mask while you're working out and stuff, but and wipe everything down every time you touched it and stuff, but it stayed open. And I put myself back on a regimen and pushed myself and set goals and kept raising the length of time I was working out or the amount of work. I started out working with 20 pounds on my upper body and ended up working out with 140 pounds in a period of 2 years. And I was working out on the bike, a stationary bike type thing. It showed resistance level 5, and I could only do 5 minutes when I started. But now I'm on a standard 21-minute regimen where I do a sprint every 3 minutes. I do a 30-second sprint, and I'm at level 13, and it's just night and
Wow.
day difference.
Thank you. Wow, that's great. Thank you, Gunnar. It looks like John had his hand up too. John, I'll hand it over to you for a
I
second.
I just wanted to comment that one of the grand things of this group or stroke group meetings in general is that everybody brings little tidbits that's worked for them. I mean, Gutter's explained his experience. Other people have explained the things that they've run into. Another group, I was discussing having issues with a ongoing pain issue, and the guy recommended CBD ointment, which I had kind of always just rolled my eyes. Well, okay, darn it, it's really helping. So just, we have what, 20 people here, all throwing spaghetti at the wall, and everybody can come back with what either did or didn't work. But if we were all trying to search out these different alternatives on our own, yeah, I don't think most of us are going to be around that long. So it expedites the process of expanding our horizons. So I just always relish the fact that we get to hear what's working for other people.
Absolutely. Thank you, John. Connecting with other survivors. It's really important to share what's working. Thank you, John. Else with wisdom that has emerged, maybe a shift in perspective on life through your recovery?
I'll go next.
Yeah.
So it's only been about 4 weeks for me since the first stroke, and then I had a mini stroke on the 10th of this month.
Wow.
And what I'm learning is how to navigate unkindness.
Mm.
And for people who are in a place where I'm at, once you have the stroke, things change. Relationships will change, friendships will change, things change. So my husband has completely abandoned me. I'm literally like on my own trying to figure this out now. And I'm trying to figure this out on my own with a broken healthcare system. With so many people and, processes that are just not working in my favor. And it could be quite frustrating. And, I had such a bad day on Monday that I ended up having to call the suicide line because I was just completely hysterical and I could not contain it. So I needed to talk to someone at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I just want to share for people that are at the beginning stages, just expect for, things to change and try your best to have patience and give people grace. I'm a Christian, so I'm literally clinging to Jesus right now. And you literally have to fight and advocate for yourself. But one valuable thing is, having this support group and being able to talk to people who have gone through it, because people who have not gone through it do not understand. I mean, some of the things I hear from people who are supposed to love me, and they say, well, you don't look like you have a stroke. I've even heard that from doctors. And, how I present is not necessarily what's happening with me. My life has been completely changed.
Mhm.
I am no longer dependent. And I have deficits that you cannot see, with the exception of me needing to use a walker to get around. So, I had to find that out quickly. However, one thing that has worked in my favor is my first stroke warriors group was, I think, 2 weeks ago. And somebody in the group, I don't know if it was Gunnar, he said, "Oh, we don't take no from insurances." And so my insurance was trying to tell me that my speech therapy was not covered. And that was my first thought. I said, well, they said in the stroke awareness group, we don't take no. Not an acceptable answer. So, I got on the phone with the insurance company and I said, my doctor said that this therapy is medically necessary. So you need to figure it out. And I advocated for myself
Mhm.
because of the advice that I received in this group. And so now they're working on my pre-authorizations and my medical requirements so that I can get the care that I need. And I'm just going to, like I said, continue to do my best to, if I'm talking about what's happening with me, to do it with survivors and warriors, because the outside world, they truly do not understand, and they lack compassion and empathy. And I think it's because they haven't taken the time to educate themselves on what's happening when a person goes through stroke.
We'll make sure you're
So,
still.
yeah, so I'm just, this week has been very hard, but I did have that one win. So I'm not going to ever let my insurance company tell me they're not going to be for me. So I can't remember who said that, but thank you for sharing that.
Well, I thank God for your strength of reaching out for help you felt like you needed during this previous week. So
That was truly brave. Good for you.
yes.
And if I may say, the first year for me, I mean, it's probably not the same. I'm sure it's not the same for everyone, but it was the worst. And it only got better from there. I mean, you still have to advocate, you still have to speak for yourself, and insurance continues to be a nightmare. But it does get better over time. It does.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep, I'm going to keep telling myself I'm not going to hold resentment, bitterness, anger. That's just not who I am as a person. But emotional things have, I mean, it's been traumatic. It has been a
Yeah.
traumatic 4 weeks,
Totally.
and how quickly your life can change
Yeah.
in a blink of an eye. So I'm still navigating it, but for the newbies, I hate to say, welcome to the club, but at least you have one to belong to, where you can get your questions answered and the support you need to survive it.
Von Cell, we have it's Von Cell, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing so vulnerably, and your strength is inspiring. So thank you for sharing that. And then also thank you for sharing about taking no, not taking no for an answer, because that people need to hear that too. So thanks for repeating that for us. In the comment, we have a message for you that said, from Jessica. That is the message I needed to hear. I'm sending you so much love and compassion. I lost my support system too, but you sound so strong and you have a strong faith. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much, Jessica. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you, Lene, for just, getting me involved. And, I just couldn't wait till the clock struck 3 today. Get on the phone, be here with all of you. And it matters, it
does.
really
And
does.
this was out of all the meetings I've ever been to, Molly, this is one of the best ones.
Oh, Arnie, it's because of all of you. You're all sharing.
Mm.
Thank you. And Karen, did you have your hand up?
Yes, I did, Molly. I wondered if Foncel would share her address with you or with some way. I'd love to send her a card and maybe notes. And Foncel, you have a future. I don't know what you look like, just such this lovely little lady, but you are like God's warrior giant. My goodness.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So
Thank-
pleased to meet you over the Zoom call.
Yeah,
I
if
can
you
put it I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Are
good.
you in Central Oregon, Buncel?
No, I'm all the way in Arizona.
Arizona.
All right.
Oh,
I'm
girl, that's
literally
far
in
away.
Arizona. Yes. So Lene is a friend of a friend. And once my friend heard that I had a stroke, she connected me with Lene, and that's how I became a part of the group.
I love
Lene's the
that.
queen.
You
You got
guys,
me
it's just
involved from Hawaii.
Welcome aboard.
Glad you're here.
yeah, me too, Vancel. We're all the same, we've all gone through this.
Thank you.
And you're so positive for this
And you're
just
not alone.
happening to
You're not
you.
alone at all.
You are doing so amazing. Like, I can just hear the strength in your voice and hear your calm presence in being able to look at everything from an objective point of view, which I was not able to hone. I was so emotional and so in shock and like sitting in the shock. And you sound so grounded and so connected. I just, as Karen said, I don't know what you are going to do, but you're bringing a lot of light to this world and to this stroke group. And like, I do feel like I have regained a deeper faith since this has happened to me. And recognizing that things are happening for us and not to us. And sometimes the things that happen for us are so that we are able to support others and to have compassion for others. And I see you as doing a lot of light work in this world with this new gift that you have. So I am just going to send you blessings and angels on your walk, because it's a long road, but you sound so wonderful and good. You have so much light. You're going to be just fine.
It's a moment by moment thing, honestly, that you have to make a decision to fight through. And even going through it, I had to tell myself, okay, well, you believe in the word of God, you believe what the word says, you got to trust it now in this moment. And so if this is supposed to be for the sake of others, because the one thing I said to myself is, as soon as I get back on my feet, I never want someone going through a stroke to have to navigate this by themselves, ever. Like, I don't understand why a case manager was not assigned to me immediately, why it took so long to get these approvals and referrals, and it just makes no sense. I even told my husband that the moment I met Lene, I said, they have caregiver support. You need to, get on the caregiver support call. And he has just checked out. He has completely checked out.
So sorry.
Moncel, I want to commend you for your early aha moments. Even for your referencing letting go of the resentment and the anger this early in the stage. I think that is awesome.
Mhm.
I still have those little bites that come up and it's just like, wait a minute, and I want to dig in. So for you to be at that place already, God bless you. That's wonderful.
Yep.
Because I
I
just
think
I want to finish this well. I want to move to the next phase already. Okay, like let's get past this and let's move on to the next phase. And sometimes, the process is like learning the lesson that's in it.
Mm.
And if that's what it is, okay, fine. But let's move forward now. I just
Yeah.
want to get stronger. I want to be able to take care of myself. I don't know what's going to happen with the marriage. I don't know any of that. But I want to keep my head up and keep moving forward.
Mm.
I think all the preachers need to move aside on Easter Sunday and just let you talk.
Yeah,
That's right.
true.
And Voncel, your image with that light coming in from the side, the light and the green for growth. Uh, you're offering lessons for all of us right now. You're looking at this really hard moment and you've talked about what you want to learn from it, and that's powerful to be so early on. And thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you for sharing yourself with us. It feels like a gift that you spoke up in this moment. So thank you.
Thank you for listening, you guys. I really appreciate it.
Lane has her hand up.
Molly, I'm not sure everybody on this call knows you're a stroke warrior.
Yeah, I'm coming up on my 19th
Really?
stroke anniversary, which I learned that from you, Lene, stroke anniversary, April 5th. And it was venous sinus thrombosis. So there was a clot in my sinus straight, the size of my pinky. And I bled into both hemispheres and lost my left side. And um, I facilitate care groups or support groups for the caregivers because I really attribute a lot of it to my family that was there doing range of motion with me and navigating and such. So that's my story. And after that, for 16 years, I worked as a campus ministry director, working with monks and Benedictine monks. And what that has to do with you is I was helping um, faculty and staff members and parents and students craft their stories on life lessons, things that they had learned throughout life, and deliver it to the community of 400. So I've been working with stroke survivors, helping them craft their story from the lens of wisdom, purpose, connection, and hope. And all of you have shared in that way today.
Hey, Molly, I'm writing a book, and I would love to have your help.
Artie, let's connect. Let's connect. So today, thank you for joining today. Our time is almost up, and this is a recording. And what I plan to do is take your wisdom that you've shared here in this meeting and put it into a episode of Beyond Stillness Stories After Stroke, which is a podcast that can be found on Apple or Audible or Spotify. And if you
Warrior
don't want,
Radio.
and Stroke Warrior Radio, 6 times a week, Ralph
Yep.
hears that. And if you don't want to be included in that, if you don't want your voice included, you're welcome to contact me. I just put the website in the email. You can send me an email saying, please edit me out of that, because it's important that you're able to share here in this group, but you might not, if you don't want it going beyond the group, let me know and we'll keep it just within us. All right?
Before you got
Ralph, can you tell everybody how to access Warrior Radio?
Yeah, you can go on, just go to the website, strokewarriorradio.com, and hit the tune in button on the main page, and you'll go right to it.
Lanae, you had connected with somebody most of you are from Central Oregon. You connected with somebody who was going to install an ECP unit in their practice. Was that something?
Yes, I did connect with a local chiropractor here who was hoping to install that and talk to your gal first, and you too, Gunner.
Okay.
So expect a call from him. A little bit more SAO update. I think maybe, I don't know if you've all heard, but on May 13th, we have Randy Travis coming to Bend, Oregon.
Wow.
Yes. And he had a stroke in 2013. I invite all of you to look up his web pages. He's coming here not for a concert, but for a conversation. And our own stroke warrior, Steve Boatwright, are you still with us, Steve? I know Steve was on earlier, is going to perform before the conversation with Randy. And we're going to record it. So for all of you that are out of town, we will be sure that you get a copy of it.
Awesome.
Where will he do this, Lanae? Where?
He's going to do it at West Side Church in Bend, Oregon.
Okay.
And it seats 760 people. So this is a huge stroke outreach, education. We're showing people how stroke warriors recover.
I
That's
love
awesome.
that, Lanae. Thank you. What an opportunity.
Thank you, Jim Patterson. It's absolutely a miracle.
Oh, wonderful.
Are there tickets to this?
Yes, there will be tickets. They'll be on the stroke awareness website.
Okay.
And they go on sale on May 1st. Excuse me, I'm sorry, April 1st.
April 1st.
And he's got a wonderful story. He has pretty severe aphasia, so he can't speak a lot, but his wife is amazing. And we'll be sure that you all at least get to see a recording.
So you need to talk to him about IASIS microcurrent no feedback, because that, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what, Marsha, I want to connect him with you.
Yep.
So that's one of the things, because I know you had an amazing experience with that.
Yep.
Maybe Molly will let you take 90 seconds and tell us about it.
Okay, so there's this little device that is called IASIS microcurrent neurofeedback, and it is so spectacular because through this device, which has 5 electrodes that are attached to your head, after 16 sessions, I could talk like I do today. So that is amazing.
Wow.
16.
Wow.
So I treated a guy who had a stroke. By this time, it was a year and a half ago, and he couldn't talk the first time I treated him. The second time I treated him, he could say 2 words among the gibberish. The third time I treated him, he could say 5 words among the gibberish. So it's amazing. Now, I can't say that it works for everybody, but if you have aphasia, I think you need to try.
And what can we type that out? Let's see. What is it called again, Marsha? Wow.
Shit. Sorry.
I think that's
IASIS, microcurrent neurofeedback. Wow, Marsha.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And maybe what we could do, Marsha, let's get you on the docket to talk about it at a support group.
Yeah,
Okay.
please. Please.
Oh, and
Okay.
here is
Please.
Boncel's address.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Boncel.
You're welcome.
I
Oh,
don't
I just told another insurance company no, you guys.
Yay.
Good for you.
And told me no. They called and said I couldn't have the walker and the wheelchair. And I said, nope, you're gonna push this up. So then they
Good.
agreed to do it.
Nice.
Literally,
Well
they just called me.
done.
Molly, amazing meeting. Thank you so much.
It's all of you. Thank you. Thank you everyone for sharing, for attending, for being here. It's really powerful to share in this way. So thank you. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Molly.
Thanks, Molly.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Molly.
everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
Molly.
Bye, everyone.
And Voncel, keep raising your voice for your